I took a very hard jump, pretty much, from being a sports teacher and coach and sort of athlete, but more the teacher and coach at the end of it, to a very traditional FMCG job with Procter & Gamble. You know, I worked in our laundry and cleaning division for the first 5 or 6 years I was there. I probably amazed myself with how much I enjoyed it. And that led, you know, as we acquired Gillette several years ago, to a more natural position where the two got to merge together. So I came back to run the Gillette UK business. And then out of that, an even better position, you know, as we came on as a top partner of the Olympic movement. What's special about the Olympics and the Olympic rings and the Olympic movement, or just when you say the word, and it does bring a sort of a look into people's eyes, you see it immediately, and I think it's there's obviously the history. I think the history, you know, and the great achievements, the great athletes, the great moments that people all recall, however young or old you are. The second piece is, you know, that there's such a breadth of values that the movement stands for that, you know, there's a lot of different ways that people connect. Some people connect to the hard competition values, some people connect to the taking part values, and, you know, they're very different, and I think they appeal to a lot of people. The other piece, which I think you see universally and wherever we go in the world and we test things with people, is there's this huge global movement and, you know, the games themselves, but they become incredibly locally relevant. You know, when it's your team, your flag, your athlete, they feel incredibly personal. Yet they're part of this huge movement that people remember these vast memories of. So I think you get this, it's a very unique property where you get the global scale with the real local personal level. I have a pretty flexible leadership style. And really I build my leadership off the people that are around me. You know, some people like a fairly direct style of very traditional autocratic leadership. If that's what that person or those people respond best to, I'm quite comfortable doing that. Equally, you have people that clearly respond better to being given a bit of a direction and left to really go and lead and work through things for themselves. And, you know, I'm equally comfortable at the end where, you know, you're very much there as a consultant as and when they need you, but, you know, really they're leading and achieving for themselves. I get asked a lot about what lessons can you bring from sport into business. One of the things that you see in sports people, and certainly, you know, the real top elite ones, are two things that for me, you know, are absolutely reapplicable. One is practice. And it's amazing how, you know, these guys practice and practice and practice, and they're not afraid to fail. You know, Chris Boardman doesn't mind if he falls off his bike when he's really going for something in training. He'll get back on and he'll go again. The way they strive and practice for the next level, I think, is something that in business sometimes we forget. We expect to just get to the next level because it should happen. And actually you've got to do a lot of hard work to get that next level to happen. So that's the first one. I think the second, you know, big lesson is, you know, simple objectives and simple steps to get there. You know, you speak to any high quality athlete or coach, they know what the end point is, but they also know what they're going to do every day, every week and every month to get them to that end objective. And I think, again, you know, in business, people are often very good at setting a vision or an objective. I think they're often less good at having that absolutely granular pathway that's going to get them there. In terms of the best piece of advice I've ever been given, I think it was by someone that, you know, said at the end of a session on planning, said, you know, however perfectly you plan, you must be prepared to screw the piece of paper up and start again if things change. And again, I think the number of times where I see people worry about really changing direction and changing a plan, you know, because they were happy that it was all laid out, when, you know, I think in the world we're in today, you've got to be flexible and adaptable. And the power of the image of, you had a perfect plan, screw it up, put it in the bin, write it out again because something intervened in between, was a really powerful sort of visual idea that, you know, I still carry.